Okay, so welcome to part 3 of what was supposed to initially be just one video, turned to 2, and now it's 3. And all that we're going to be doing in this video is, well, what we've done so far is we've set up our Express server, we've set up our routes, we've set up our model, we got some handlers going, and we got some controllers going for just interacting with our data source, which we're using db.json for. And so now in this video, what we said we wanted to do is that when we add an entry to our cheese catalog, we want to generate a QR code, which we will then use just to look up information about cheeses that we have cataloged. So there's two places that we're going to need to implement this logic. First here is QR create. And of course, if we delete an entry, we want to QR delete. Okay. So let's take a look at this package quick. Okay, to URL. I believe as I was to file. Oh yeah, you can do it to file, but then also I think you can do terminal. Okay, so we're going to do this first just to see and verify that the QR code works, and then we will change it to a file because we'll have to interact with the file system. So let's just quickly try to implement this logic like this. So QR code, and then toString type terminal. Okay. Let me think here. So import QR code from QR code. Looks like we need types, I think. That's what that's complaining about. Yeah. Yarn add d at types QR code. That warning should go away. There we go. So in our try catch block, we are going to let's grab our ID off of our cheese that we create, because then we're going to go await QR code dot to string, and then we're going to pass it the text that we want is going to be the URL that we want this thing to open, which, because we did this, we can kind of use, like, it'll be available to us on our local network. So this, I have, let's see here, preferences. So I need this IP address, and then 3000 because that's where we're running on, and cheese, and ID. So I'm not 100% sure if this will work, but we'll give it a go. Type terminal. And I guess we don't need the callback if we're using await, I think. So we'll go const code equals await, and then we'll go console.log code. And let's see how this does. So we'll post a new cheese. We'll be boring and say cheddar. And let's see if we have a QR code. Okay, I am going to take my iPhone and I'm going to try to scan it and open. All right, it says this is not the cheese that you are looking for, which makes a lot of sense because we deleted, I'm pretty sure, that cheese. So at least we know that's working. So we'll take this ID and actually that doesn't make sense. Give me a moment here. Let's see the address that we went to. Oh. Duh. Okay. So let's try another one. So if you didn't catch that, I had this route as cheese instead of cheeses, and that was my issue, I think, I hope. So let's go create another one. And this one we will say is, I don't actually know if that's how you spell that, so I apologize. And let's go over here, see the QR code that was generated. And now I'm going to try to open it. Open in Safari. And I got a JSON response. Of course, it's not nicely formatted, but that's what you get for an application, or sorry, from a channel called Useless.js. Okay, so now that we've done that, the next thing that we want to do is I just want to save it into a file. That's how I'm going to persist these. We could do it to a string URL. I was just reading the documentation, and we could save it and then like have it saved, but it's just as easy to generate it, save it in a file where we could, if we wanted, conceivably print it out and stick it to something. So that's what we are going to try to do now. So I'm going to create a new directory. Oh, sorry, not a file. New directory called codes. And then I'm going to go here and say to file. And I'm pretty sure I saw on here earlier that to file requires a file path. So if we go here and we go source codes id.png, that will create, put it in the files for us. And if we want to start fresh, let's just go like this. And then go back here and let's try to create. And I should, in here, have a QR code that, moment of truth, does this work? Take my phone, scan, open, beautiful. All right, so that's working just fine. And the last thing that we're gonna do for this application is handle our deleting. And all we're gonna have to do for this is just basically use the file system import fs from fs, and I like to use promisify just so that, because that's better. I guess this could be in its own like utility. If we were doing more with things, then I guess we would do that, but for now let's just go const delete file equals promisify fs.onLink, which is the one that does the deleting. Confusing if you don't know that. And then here, once we've deleted it, we'll go await delete file, and we will copy the path from up here. And if I'm not mistaken, that's all that really needs to be done. So let's go here, copy this that we just created, take it here, pass it here, and let's just validate for ourselves that mu7n. That ID is the same ID. And let's send. And look at that. It's gone. Perfect. Okay. Well, that was a long haul here. But there we have our perfectly useless cheese cataloging applications for all of your cheese cataloging needs. Which, if you have any cheese cataloging needs, then unless you make cheese, you have probably a problem and probably clogged arteries, but neither here nor there. And that's it. So what we did is we went through, we built our Express server, we built our handlers and controllers in our model and our routes, and then as a cherry on top, we added this QR code functionality, which if I had planned it better, I would have like screen recorded my iPhone so that you could kind of see what's going on. But I'll just leave that for you to experiment and try out on your own. Okay. Anyways, thanks for watching. If you like these videos, feel free to like and subscribe. And feel free to also comment below if there are other ideas that you have for useless projects that you'd like to see me code out. And I guess I'm also going to get rid of this because we don't need it, I think. There we go. All right, that's everything. Have a great day.